Precious, and this is my mid-month wrap-up for the month of April. It's been a slow reading month for me. I haven't been motivated to pick up books however, this is what I've read so far, and I'd love to share it with you. The first book or manga that I picked up this month is Kimi ni Todoke. This is a slice of life shoujo manga. It is about a girl named Wako, who is very shy, very withdrawn, but she wants to make friends. She wants to build up her self-esteem and be able to talk to different people and make a group of friends in her school. However, people are afraid of her because she resembles a character from a horror movie. I've always looked up to this gentleman who is Kazahaya, who seems to speak to everybody, be friends with everyone. So she really looks up to him, and one day he overhears her saying how she looks up to him because he's a sweet guy, and this then prompts him to start speaking to her because he's always wanted to speak to her, because I'm assuming it's not really said in this first manga that he has a crush on her, but I think he does have a crush on her. So we follow her adventures as she learns how to speak up for herself, telling people that she isn't some horror movie character. She just wants to make friends, and she wants to meet new people and increase her group of friends. This was sweet. I didn't like the fact that people sort of ran away from her and said that she looked scary to her face. That was kind of hot. It hurt my feelings. But that I really liked it, and I would like to pick up more of this, more volumes of this manga. The next manga that I read this month was My Hero Academia, which follows Midoriya and All Might. Midoriya is a young boy. I'm sure you've read this or heard of it. It is one of the biggest manga and animes at the moment. Midoriya wants to become the greatest hero that ever was. He lives in a world where people are born with abilities, and these abilities are called quirks. And with these abilities, you can choose to become a hero. And so, however, Midoriya was born without a quirk, and he's always wanted to be a hero. He wants to pursue this with all his might. However, circumstances and things happen where he's given the ability, goes to a high school to train to become a hero, where he uses his newfound ability that has been bestowed upon him to try to become the best that he can be. Right now he's going through trials to like an entrance exam to get into the school, and he just really needs to find the confidence in himself. I really liked this. It was sweet. I loved the little notes that the author had inside here about why and how he made the characters look, and he sort of processes in the final decisions, which I thought was fascinating. And the art is really crisp and clean, and it's just your standard shonen manga, and I loved it, and I would like to read more. So this is My Hero Academia Volume 1. The next manga that I picked up, and the final manga that I read this month, was Vagabond Volume 1 to 3. It's the bind up. What can I say? This is a legendary manga. It's been around for a really long time, and you can see why so many people love it. The art is phenomenal. I feel when I read this, I just thought it's larger than life. Okay, it is large, but it was physically and metaphorically larger than life. The artwork was phenomenal. The story, this follows Takaizo and his friend Tahashi, and they've survived somehow a war. They're both very young. They're 17 years old when the manga opens up or begins, and they've survived and lived through war. And this starts off with them being found in a forest by a group of women that live their lives sort of clearing up battlefields, trying to scavenge for whatever's left behind by soldiers after the war. And you start to see the difference between Takazo and Takashi really quickly. And Takazo is very driven. This is Takazo. He is very driven. He has a goal in mind to be the most invincible under the sun. And Matsuhashi is sort of riding on his coattails. And on paper, it would seem that Matsuhashi would be the better person because You learn as you read this, he comes from a family with a mother that loves him, whereas Takazo comes from a broken family. He's basically known as a mountain child or a wild child because he spends most of his time in the mountains, in the forest, sort of raising himself, and people look down upon him. However, he has the stronger character amongst the two men so far. This is only volume 1 to 3, and I don't know where it's gonna go. I'm waiting for more. But the decisions that these two gentlemen make are very telling on the type of people that they are. And yes, I loved the artwork. It was so, I loved all the characters so far. The monk, Tahayo, and Otsu. I loved Otsu, who's a friend of both Takazo and Masahashi. Masahashi, I keep forgetting his name. Takazo and Masahashi. And yeah, I am so excited to continue reading this manga. I don't want to spoil it because I think that everybody should read this. But their lives change, and their lives, they go their separate ways. Takazo still tries to keep his integrity, and thinking ahead, thinking about Matahashi's family, where Matahashi doesn't really think about his family or any of the consequences of the decisions that he's making. And you get a sense of a little bit of jealousy. Just there's so much reality sprinkled throughout this manga. I suggest everybody to read it. It is really profound. It was sad. It was also heartbreaking because Takazo goes through a lot of difficult situations and a lot of heartbreak and a lot of mental, he has a little bit of a mental breakdown closer to the end, just before he changes his name. And yeah, I loved this. And the sad thing about this is that I've had this manga for a long time, but I didn't read it because I always assume, especially when things are hyped up so much that you think this is gonna suck. The moment I picked it up, I was alone at home. I picked it up and I was just like, wow. Vagabond Volume 1, I want to read the rest. Okay, and the only novel completed so far in April is, this took up a bulk of my time. That is Brandon Sanderson's Words of Radiance. Look at this. This is from my library. Oh my god, it's so beautiful. Just look at the cover. I'm sure you've seen it before. It is a continuation. It is book 2 in the Stormlight Archives. It is a continuation of the story about the Shattered Plains and Dalinar's quest to unite all the High Princes. I'm not going to say a lot about this book because it is a second book in a series, so I feel like I would spoil a lot of things unintentionally because I really want to talk about this book. I really love it. So many things, so many great things happen here. Kaladin has to face his he has a bit of prejudice within him, even though he thinks the prejudice is always against him because he's dark eyes. However, he also has his prejudice, and the people around him that are similar to him or in a similar economic and socio-economic situation as him have the same prejudices, and he starts to realize this, protecting the king, and sort of interacting with people like Adeline, that not all light eyes are evil, not all light eyes have an agenda, not all light eyes just want to ruin your life. And he's coming to that realization through events that are really heartbreaking. His separation from you-know-who. The thing that I would say about this that sort of annoyed me, and because you just want to read about Shallan, you just want to read about Dalinar, you just want to see what else Kaladin is up to, how's his training, what you just want to read about that. However, reading about other characters, like side characters, really slowed my reading down for this, and that's what took me quite a while. I loved this immensely. I cannot wait to read Oathbreaker. I've ordered it from Book Depository. It was supposed to be here like last week, and I get it. I get it, it's the situation that we're in, but it's still kind of, I love this. I can't wait to read every single thing that Brandon Sanderson picks out or puts out, because I've only read Warbreaker, The Way of Kings, and I want to start Elantris soon. I have that, but I want to read everything he's written, because his writing you're immersed into it. You're immersed and you just want more. And I think that just proves what an amazing writer and just basic storyteller he is. Yeah, thank you for joining me. Like, suggestions below, and if you'd like to subscribe, please do. Bye.